track 5 is Life in Slow Motion, the title track. So something that was recorded very early in the process. And I've told the story of the piano arriving and knocking the wall down, taking the window out, craning it in on a snowy day. And then when it landed and it was tuned, it was just sounded amazing. And I just began to play these huge, heavy chords. And Clune started to do this really slow beat. And Iestyn had it cranked through all these distressors and these little compressors and things in the studio at Mike Pre's, really driving the sound. We got this massive distorted things, huge reverbs, just me and Clune, and then I was singing whatever lyrics I had. The lyric never really got written, it just was what I sang at the time, just 3 small kind of simple verses really. And the song really does the speaking in terms of what the story is. So again, this is like fleshing out the kind of the desolate feelings that came with losing my dad and trying to make sense of that. So the strange sense of time and utterly changed perspective that I was suddenly given, living those incredibly intense moments with him towards the end, and then processing the space when he wasn't there anymore. So that's kind of where the emotions of the song are. However, the imagination has coloured the lyrics. That's kind of what's standing, I feel. It's like a monument, really, this song. And it has a power and a simplicity to it. So I think this was one of the first things that pointed me in the direction that I was going when we were making Life in Slow Motion. It just, and the idea as well, Life in Slow Motion, that felt exactly right. And that's why it's the title of the album. It was not just grief, but all the success, the weird kind of being John Malkovich stuff of being successful and living that reality, processing, trying to build a life that made sense with all these new forces in it. Trying to honour the fans, the music, the tour, and fit my family in somewhere along the line, and then maybe even a bit of time for me. I think that's the bit where I forgot to do that part. So it was an intense thing, that what success brought, and trying to be faithful or true or honest or honouring it in the way that it needed to be honoured and fulfilling your contractual obligations. So anyway, this is Life in Slow Motion. I'm sorry, I've gone way too deep and detailed on this. Let me break this down again. So it's just the piano arrived through the thing, we tuned it up, epic chords, Clune started on with a really slow beat, Iestyn processed the crap out of it. It just sounded amazing, it sounded huge. And the sound just going around this great big recording studio. We'd begun, the process had really begun. We'd started to take meaningful steps towards making this record, which was obviously going to sound and feel completely different to White Ladder or New Day at Midnight, Lost Songs, or anything that had happened before. So that's what this was. It was a fleshing out of this emotion as well that was still I was so saturated with, like, trying to make sense of what had happened to me personally in that sort of crazy takeoff moment with White Ladder, and then losing my dad and all the other things that had happened along with it. So yeah, it's a key track, super simple from a lyrical point of view, but there's a density to the feeling there that I think is convincing.